All right, hi there everyone. This is AGNR 131, lab exercise 1. This is part 2 of that, how to actually collect a soil sample and prepare it for lab analysis correctly. So what you can see right now in front of me is I got two big saucers that are just sort of filled with soil material. I just went into my backyard there and I just pretty much grabbed a couple different samples of soil, and you can kind of see that they are full of stuff that's identifiable as not just soil, right? There's some rocks in there, and then there's pan over here to this one. You can kind of see it looks like there's some rocks in there as well. So what are we going to do to get that ready? We got to do something. So that's where this number 10 sieve comes into play. Here's the number 10 sieve. I'm going to bring it to the picture now. You can see this. If you read really carefully here, you might even be able to see where it says number 10 right there. This is a sieve which has openings that are approximately 2 millimeters. So if you remember from our lecture, anything that passes through a 2 millimeter sieve that's not organic is going to be soil. It's going to either be a sand, silt, or clay particle. So we're going to run each one of those samples. I'm going to show you how to do that. Each one of those samples down here, we're going to run those through our sieve and actually come out with a soil sample that we can actually run and use for lab analysis. Now, to catch all that stuff, we need a pan. So what's going to happen is we're going to take this sieve and we're going to put it on top of the pan there, and then you're going to see that we're going to add our soil on top of this. So we'll see how well this works. I'm just going to go ahead and get a sample of material in through there. Just pick it all up. Now, I'm going to make it clear so you can kind of get a visual of what I'm doing. So here we're over here on this side. Now, if we were doing this the right way, I'd have another container here to sieve it into if I wanted to, if I didn't have a pan. But I have a pan. So the first thing I want to do is, I know some of these big chunks here really are not going to be rocks. They are rocks, and they're not going to really be soil samples. So if I want to, especially if my pan is full, I can just grab a couple of those bigger ones and just shake them out. Now, the rest of what I can do is I'll just let the sieve do the work for me. So I'll just go ahead. I always have to itch my nose, it seems like. And I'll use my fingers to find things that I think are soil aggregates, soil dirt clods, and break them up. You can use your fingers for this. Sometimes it works better with a pair of gloves if your fingers are sensitive. And you just try to find that stuff that's soil, like a dry dirt clod. And you just go ahead and work it through. I see a few more it looks like there. And there might be a couple more in there that I could get out. I'm kind of looking through it, looking for gold. So that's pretty good. Now I'm really just trying to get a good representative sample. So I have that. So now the only problem that I might have is I might have some little bits and pieces of grass and organic stems. That's really not going to matter for our analysis. This is a 2 millimeter sample. Totally fine to use it just like this. If we did anything that had an organic, that needed to take out the organic material, we could float this to the surface. It would float to the surface, and you could easily just pull it off. Or if it was something where we wanted to look at the actual organic matter that was in the soil, not just the bits and pieces of plant material on top, we would be able to actually then do a process that would take all that material right off, burn it right off. But for what we're normally going to do for most soil samples, pH or the hydrometer method, this is not going to be a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this back in. There we go. Now, it's kind of hard to see that, but if I took all these pieces here, this is just another visual. Forget this, but if you don't ignore that one. But if I took those pieces there, and this is all soil material, and this is all what came out of that soil sample that's not soil material, what about the relative sizes of those two piles? Do they look about the same? This pile looks to me like it's slightly larger than this pile. So do you remember what that actually means in terms of gravel content or rock fragment content? In this case, I would say this is almost the same size. If the piles are the same size, this would be 35% by volume rock fragments, right? Or was that 35% by weight? I can't remember. 35% rock fragments would be if it was equal. I'm going to say it's slightly less, so that's actually going to probably be 30% rock fragments. Now, I don't know if I'm in a good camera view or not, but I'm going to go ahead and switch this one over. Same thing again. I'll clean that off just a little bit. And we'll do the same thing with the other one. I'll just pull it over here like that. Just grab a representative sample, throw it in there. And let's just see what we get on this one. Again, there's some big pieces. I could take them out if I wanted to, or I could just move it out of the way and just go like that. And this one here looks like it's a lot sandier. There's not a lot of material in there that looks like dirt clods. So that's pretty much it. You can see I can get a little bit more out of there. So you can actually shake that a little bit until you think there's nothing else coming out. I think there's a little bit more you can do that. Make sure that everybody has an opportunity that wants to come through is going to come through. So there you see, there's my pile of that, and then there's my pile of soil. Get a representative difference. You can see there's the fines are going to be at the bottom. These are the larger sand size. These are going to be the smaller sand size, and the silts and clays and the small aggregates. But there again, we have two samples. Actually about the same amount of rock fragments. It looks like this pile is slightly larger, but about the same. So 30 to 35% rock fragments in that one as well. So there you go. That's how you do it. That's how you prepare a native soil or any soil that you gather from outside your yard. If we did our composite samples and got them all together and put them in a bag, we'd still want to sieve them out like this to make sure that we have this soil. This is what we're going to actually analyze, this or this. All right. Thanks very much.